Do you have any, reaction to the...
I just answered for you.
The Indiana Fever, from a public relations standpoint, they cannot get out of their own way.
The worst part is these dummies, these stooge referees, reviewed this play too and still came to the conclusion that the foul is on Sophie Cunningham.
No institution defends men and protects them more than the WNBA.
Something unprecedented is unfolding in the WNBA right now, and the entire basketball universe is watching in absolute shock as the tension between league executives, veteran figures, and rising superstars reaches a complete boiling point. If you thought the relentless physical target on Caitlin Clark's back was just a temporary rookie initiation, what just transpired on the court and in the press room changes the entire landscape of professional women's sports forever. For months, fans have witnessed the brutal physical hits, the non-calls from officials, and the bizarre media narratives aimed at shutting down the biggest draw the league has ever seen. But when Sophie Cunningham stepped into the center of a massive national media storm, the unspoken rules of the league were put to the ultimate test.
I think it should be an offensive foul. I don't think it should be a defensive foul.
During a high-stakes matchup that had millions tuning in, a dramatic sequence on the hardwood left players, commentators, and fans utterly bewildered as officiating decisions seemed to defy basic logic. In the middle of an intense physical battle, Sophie Cunningham took a sharp elbow directly to the face. A clear contact play that under standard officiating protocols should have triggered an immediate whistle or video review. Yet in a twist that sent shockwaves through the arena, the referees blew the whistle and assessed a personal foul against Sophie herself, leaving commentators struggling to explain what they were even witnessing.
It's a defensive foul. No hostile act occurred. There was no secondary act after the defensive foul.
The atmosphere inside the Target Center was already charged with intense societal debate and arena protests, creating a pressure cooker environment unlike anything seen in recent league history. Sitting on the opposing sideline, Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve made headlines of her own by wearing a prominent graphic shirt displaying the slogan, "Trans Kids Belong," right beneath her blazer.
Men cannot compete in WNBA, so moving forward, coaches just have to say what? Look, it's not my rule. It's the WNBA rules. Men cannot compete. Can we move on with this topic? Because it's becoming a distraction. This is a leadership problem in the organization.
This sartorial statement came directly on the heels of Sophie Cunningham's public comments regarding biological boundaries and safety standards in female sports, leading fans and analysts to speculate whether on-court officiating was reflecting broader ideological clashes taking place behind the scenes. For many viewers, the bizarre foul call against Cunningham after taking physical contact did not feel like a simple mistake, but rather a symptom of a league fractured by media pressure and internal politics. Outside the arena, rival rallies gathered as passionate fans on both sides of the debate voiced their opinions, turning a regular season basketball game into a focal point of national cultural discussion. Inside the venue, the refereeing remained under an intense microscope, with every single whistle questioned by both the broadcast team and the vocal crowd. When the final buzzer sounded, all eyes immediately shifted to the post-game press conferences, where reporters were eager to extract statements from the league's most prominent figures. Historically, media members have attempted to corner Caitlin Clark on controversial topics, pushing her to take political stances or make inflammatory declarations that could be weaponized across social media platforms. During this particular post-game media availability, a reporter pressed Clark directly regarding the heated debate over policies in women's sports and her teammates' recent statements, rather than taking the bait or taking a side that could alienate fans. Clark stood her ground in a firm, composed manner, establishing a definitive boundary that shut down further speculation. She stated clearly that it is not really a discussion they have in their locker room, adding that it is for the leagues and governing bodies to work with their athletes to find solutions while emphasizing that their primary focus remains strictly on basketball.
It's not really a discussion we really have in our locker room. I think it's for leagues and the governing bodies to work with their athletes to find solutions, but our focus is on basketball, and that's what we talk about and how we can get wins, and obviously we didn't do that tonight, so we need to find an area to improve in that way.
When pressed a second time by the same reporter seeking a more controversial quote, Clark did not back down or falter. She looked directly at the interviewer and firmly asserted that she had just answered the question, effectively ending the line of inquiry.
Do you have any, reaction to the...
I just answered for you.
Caitlin Clark was directly asked to speak on it, and she was cowardly. She refused to do it.
This poised response highlighted Clark's growing maturity and leadership under an unprecedented level of media scrutiny that few athletes in history have ever experienced. Ever since entering the league, Clark has navigated a gauntlet of intense physical play, targeted fouls, and relentless public debate. Opposing defenses have consistently employed physical tactics designed to disrupt her rhythm, often straddling the line of flagrant contact. While officials stood by, observers across the basketball world have pointed out that while veteran superstars often enjoy a favorable whistle, Clark and her teammates have been forced to fight through contact that would normally draw immediate whistles. Sophie Cunningham, known for her fiery competitive spirit and willingness to defend her teammates, has often stepped up as a protective presence on the court when physical play escalates. This bond between Clark and Cunningham has made their dynamic one of the most compelling narratives in women's basketball today. When Cunningham became the center of league controversy, Clark's refusal to allow reporters to divide the locker room demonstrated a united front that resonated strongly with fans who simply want to see the sport judged on performance rather than rhetoric. The broader background of this situation reveals a sport undergoing massive growing pains as viewership numbers, ticket sales, and media coverage explode to historical highs. The arrival of generational talent has brought millions of new viewers into the fold, leading to unprecedented financial growth, but also exposing long-standing ideological divisions within the league ecosystem.
The Indiana Fever and Stephanie White, after she shit on the fans yesterday. You know, by the way, in politics, sometimes it can help just to be likable. Stephanie White's not very likable. That's part of her problem, is she does not come across as very likable. And yeah, Stephanie White, the consumers, you do have to answer to them because they can turn the TV off and they quit buying tickets. Again, Indiana has had more empty seats. Shockingly, there were empty seats during a game against Angel.
Coaches like Cheryl Reeve have long been outspoken advocates for social activism within women's basketball, viewing the court as a primary platform for political expression. On the other hand, players who express alternative views or attempt to focus strictly on athletic competition often find themselves facing severe public pushback and intense scrutiny from media commentators. This dynamic was on full display during the recent road trip, where protesting crowds and media questions followed the team across multiple cities including Seattle, Portland, and Minneapolis. Amidst all this outside noise, the basketball itself remains remarkably intense, with games featuring high-scoring battles and fierce rivalries that keep audiences on the edge of their seats.
Trans kids belong. They had a conversation together. They walked up to each other. They had the talk. And by the way, just so you know, we did not know this. I Googled to see which side Cheryl Reeve is on. She's actually lesbian. Nothing wrong with that.
In another viral press room interaction from recent games, reporters attempted to manufacture a rival narrative between young stars by asking opposing guard Olivia Miles about her back-and-forth matchup with Clark. Rather than taking the bait or engaging in dramatic trash talk, Miles immediately redirected the praise, pointing out that teammate Kelsey Mitchell was actually the one doing the real damage on the floor.
It's so fun playing with great guards. Kelsey Mitchell's really the one that's killing us right now. I'm just kind of in awe watching her. Like, this is low-key my welcome to the W moment.
Quotes like these demonstrate how players often recognize the media's attempt to sensationalize every interaction into a major feud, preferring instead to focus on tactical basketball and team strategy. Despite the constant media spin, the reality on the hardwood remains centered around skill, team execution, and intense athletic rivalry. The narrative surrounding Clark and her squad continues to evolve, drawing millions of fans who tune in to see how these young athletes handle the immense pressure both on and off the court. As the season progresses, the officiating standards in the WNBA continue to be a hot topic among former players, sports analysts, and fan bases worldwide. When physical plays like the elbow incident involving Cunningham result in confusing foul calls, it fuels widespread debate regarding whether officiating consistency is keeping up with the rapid escalation of physical competition. Many sports commentators have called upon league executives to establish clearer guidelines and ensure that star players are protected from unnecessary physical harm while maintaining fairness across every matchup. The balance between allowing aggressive defense and preventing non-basketball contact remains delicate, especially in games featuring high ratings and intense public interest. Throughout all of this, Clark's steady leadership and refusal to be drawn into external controversies have set a standard for how modern athletes handle high-pressure media landscapes.
It is one thing to inject politics into your sport where they don't belong, like Colin Kaepernick kneeling in the middle of professional football games.
Understanding why this specific incident generated such massive viral engagement requires looking at the broader picture of how modern sports media operates. Today's audiences are highly sensitive to narratives involving fair play, officiating integrity, and athlete freedom of speech. When fans observe what appears to be an unfair call on the floor combined with political messaging from coaching staff, it naturally creates a compelling story that spreads rapidly across social media platforms. The key to navigating these complex stories on video platforms is presenting verified facts, breaking down actual footage and press quotes, and allowing viewers to draw their own educated conclusions without resorting to inflammatory or violating speech. By focusing on official post-game transcriptions, direct player statements, and game highlights, creators can deliver captivating sports coverage that respects both the audience and community standards. Looking ahead, the relationship between players, coaches, and league leadership will shape the future trajectory of professional women's basketball for years to come. As attendance records continue to shatter and international interest reaches new heights, the league faces the unique challenge of maintaining competitive integrity while managing high-profile cultural debates. Players like Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham have shown that regardless of off-court noise, their ultimate commitment is to delivering competitive performances on the hardwood and supporting their teammates through every obstacle. The poise shown by Clark when answering tough press questions serves as a prime example of how top-tier professionals maintain focus on their core athletic mission. As the regular season heats up and playoff positioning becomes critical, every game, whistle, and press conference will be scrutinized under an unprecedented national spotlight. Fans can expect more intense action, high-stakes drama, and thrilling basketball, as these world-class athletes continue to drive the sport into an unprecedented new era. The narrative arc of this season proves that sports are at their most captivating when high-level skill meets genuine human passion and team loyalty. Whether it is Cunningham fighting for position on the glass, Clark orchestrating fast breaks, or opponents stepping up to meet the challenge, the energy on the court is undeniable. As league executives work behind the scenes to address governance, player safety, and officiating consistency, the athletes themselves continue to put on a show that captivates millions of viewers every single week. Staying informed on the latest developments requires looking beyond sensationalized headlines to understand the true dynamics at play between coaches, referees, and the star players who drive the game forward. With so much momentum behind the sport, every upcoming game promises to deliver unforgettable moments that will keep basketball enthusiasts talking for months to come.